Hi! Welcome back to my channel! Today, let's talk about what is an outlier, what is the reason or what are the reasons to remove outliers on dataset, what is Boxplot or box and whisker plot, what are the elements of the Boxplot, and how to identify outliers using Excel program. Now, let's start.
Before we proceed on identifying the outliers from the dataset using Excel, let's talk about first what is an outlier or outliers. Outliers, it is a data value that is numerically distant from a dataset. It is an observation that lies on abnormal distance from the other values in a random sample from a population. It could be the largest value or the smallest value on the dataset. Sometimes, the outliers are obvious in dataset. However, in some cases, it is difficult to identify on the dataset. Now, what are the reasons to remove the outliers on the dataset? Because one reason is it can cause serious problems or problem in statistical analysis. Another is can cause to misleading result or conclusion. This occurrence of outliers could be due to human error, instrument error, or natural deviation in a population. To identify the outliers on the dataset, we can use a box plot display of distribution. And the question is, what is this? This is a box and whisker plot, also called the box plot. This box plot, it is a method for graphically depicting groups of numerical data through their quartiles. This Boxplot also is an important tool for determination of outliers. Elements of Boxplot. First is the median. Identifies the center of the dataset, marked by a vertical line inside the box. Another is the upper and lower quartiles, or the Q3 and Q1, or the quartile 3 or quartile 1, found at the both end of the box. It is the span of the middle half of the dataset and the back span of the interquartile range. Another is the minimum and the maximum value. It is also called the lowest and the highest observation. It is the lowest and the largest data excluding any outliers. This minimum and maximum value provide additional information about the actual dispersion of the data. The whisker are the two lines outside the box that extend to the highest and lowest observation. And this is the box plot display of distribution, or this is the elements of the box plot. The median marked by a vertical line inside the box. The lower and upper quartile, or the Q1 and the Q3, found at the both end of the box. The minimum and the maximum value, or the mean or max, provide additional information about the actual dispersion of the data. The whisker, it is the two lines outside the box that extend to the highest and lowest value or observation. The box is the interquartile range, or IQR. And in this video, I will show you how to identify outliers using Excel with a simple mathematical calculation. In this video, we will be using Excel to identify the outliers on your data set instead of manual calculation in identifying the outliers on your data set. To much have an easier and efficient way on identifying instead of manual calculation, which will take some time. First, for example, in this video, I have my data set. This is, and first thing you do is we need to identify the sum of the, you need to write sum of the number summary on the block spec here. First is you need to write the quartile 1, then the quartile 3, then the IQR, the upper bound, and the lower bound. So, to identify the value of quartile 1, you should use this formula: equals, insert function, here, then quartile, enter. This is the quartile INC. Okay, highlight the value data, then we are aim for the quartile 1, type 1, then okay. For the quartile 3, equals, this equals, insert function, there you have it, quartile, okay. Then the array, this is referring to your data set, data, highlight your data, scroll down, then we're aiming for the quartile 3, it should be number 3. Okay, take note that on identifying the quartile, if you want to identify the value of minimum value, use 0. If you want to identify the quartile 1, use 1. If you want to identify the mean value, is use 2. Quartile 3 is 4 and 3, and the maximum value is 4. Then in this, I aiming for the value of quartile 3 is just, I will write or write 3 or input 3, then click OK. That's it. We have the value of quartile 3. Okay, quartile 3, interquartile range is the difference between the quartile 3 and the quartile 1. Therefore, equals to quartile 3 minus quartile 1. The answer is, that is the interquartile range. To identify the upper bound, we should use the value of the quartile 3 plus the 1.5 and multiply it to IQR. Just like this, equals the value of the IQR plus, open parenthesis, 1.5 multiply the IQR value, then close parenthesis. There you have it. You have the result for the upper bound and the lower bound. And this value will be using, or the basis for identifying the outliers on your data set. To do that, in my case, I am using this function to identify outliers on my data set, just like this, equals, type OR, then open parenthesis, if this 26 is greater than the value of the upper bound, then comma, add comma, another, if the value of this 26 is lesser than the value of the lower bound, then close parenthesis, enter. Okay, then before that, add dollar sign on your uh, upper bound and lower bound number. Add dollar sign here and add dollar sign here. Then, okay, then to have all the result, just drag this box down to your old dataset. And there you have it. All answers with false, it means this is not an outliers. All data with true corresponding true answer, it means that is outliers. There's also another way in identifying outliers, instead not using true or false but highlighting or putting colors on the number. Just I will show you. Copy this, your data, copy, then paste it there. Okay, then highlight your data. Okay, then go to conditional formatting. Okay, let's start with a greater than. Okay, greater than the value of 63.1, then 62.5. Let's put a light red field with dark red in text. Okay, how about on the lesser than? There's a less than. This is the value less than. Then I want this green. Okay, after that is sort your data set into largest to the smallest, because you're able to identify all your outliers value on the largest and the smallest value, or the top and the bottom portion of your data value. There you have it. On the we can see that 125 and 78 is an outliers, and at the bottom portion, a number one value is an outliers. Therefore, that is an easiest way to identify outliers using a simple mathematical equation than manually calculating. And by the way, it is a piece of advice to new researchers, especially on undergraduate students, that before performing statistical analysis, you should identify the potential outliers on your dataset, because it will significantly affect your conclusion or the result of your study.